so I came straight from school to university, straight into teaching. And I think for me, teaching is really about having a passion for learning as well. And what better time to have a passion for learning than to harbour that kind of university and then to instil that in your teaching.
I think coming straight from university is important because you're kind of closer to the age of the students that you're actually going to be teaching if you teach in secondary, and I think therefore some of the things are like fresher in your mind, like what it's like to go through that kind of exam process and kind of tips that you might have used when you were revising for your own university exams. And I also think people that come straight out of university have the passion and the enthusiasm and the energy that you need to be a teacher.
Coming straight out of university, I think I'm up to date on like the current things that are happening in the world, and I think showing that to the children is really important. Like, yes, we're doing these GCSEs, but this is why it's relevant today.
I think it was easier because I just come from studying, so I was quite used to doing the essays and the planning and all them different things. It was more of a natural thing because I was so used to doing it. Whereas if I'd been at work, I think that adjustment would have been a lot harder, so I found it quite a lot easier, that transition.
Every single day you're going out, you're doing something different, and you're going to be performing in front of a group of people every day as you talk to them. You're going to be planning for challenges that you may never have faced. Every single day is different, every day is a challenge.
I think I was quite nervous beforehand. I was very aware that I was quite young and that I didn't have much life experience. But I'm actually really glad that I did do it, because actually once you're in a school, that anxiety of, am I too young to do this? Am I going to look much older than the students? Straight away, you realise that actually I have had some life experience. I've been at university, I do feel old enough to do it, and it was definitely a step which at that time I felt, once I was in, I was ready to make that step.
It was tough at first because you go straight from being a student to then being the teacher, but actually that gave me a bit more empathy, and I was able to kind of understand the pressures of workload that I was putting on the students, and then be able to deal with that a bit more myself.
I came out of university, I did a year in my placement school just as a teaching assistant, and then decided that I just loved being in the school so much, so went and trained with Teach South East, and they just made the process really smooth and were really supportive.
I really, really liked the amount of contact time that we had. So I had friends who'd gone off to train through various other different routes, and they'd spent quite a lot of time in university before going into their placement schools, whereas having that kind of one day a week consistently where you're going back to Teach South East, you're getting kind of the direct teaching and that contact time, I felt incredibly supported. I didn't ever feel for a moment that I was on my own, but then also being in the schools right from the beginning as well, and meant that I built up a really, really good support network within the schools that I was training in.
I think the internship programme made me realise that it's definitely the career that I wanted to do. And I came to this internship and I just met so many amazing people, and you're just in the school environment those 5 days. We did absolutely everything, and it just made me realise that this is where I saw myself in the future.
I think it was the people that really made it for me, whether it's the Teach South East staff, who are lovely, absolutely lovely. They still come around every now and again to check that we're all okay. Or it was the other trainees, and we had just built some brilliant relationships within our schools, within our placement schools, and with people that we never worked with before but would see once a week. That really made the difference, just feeling loved.
Teach South East made me a better teacher, 100%, and that course, being the way that it was designed, I think was brilliant for me to develop into the teacher that I am today.
The thing that I always look back on with Teach South East is just how thorough they are in terms of all the teaching that they deliver. They always demonstrate how you can achieve the highest of standards, and they demonstrate that themselves in almost everything that they do. I remember from kind of even the interview day feeling so supported by them and just really excited to be training with them from the get-go.